Oh my goodness. Pad Gra Prao. What like, Pad Gra, wow. Send help, please. Hi guys, and welcome back to my kitchen. Today we're going to be making Pad Gra Prao. It's a Thai dish that's a stir-fried Thai basil and ground pork. You can substitute in other proteins, but we're sticking with pork for today. It's got lots of other fresh herbs and aromatics. It's super fragrant and really easy to make. If you notice, today we don't have cameraman. It's actually his birthday, and so I'm surprising him by making this. It's his favorite Thai dish. Literally anytime we go to any Thai restaurant, we always have to get this. The other dishes can be a surprise, but we always stick with our Pad Gra Prao because we know that it's so good. And no matter where you go, every restaurant has it. Well, every Thai restaurant has it. So right now we're gonna quickly run through the ingredients. I've already got some jasmine rice cooking in the back, so as soon as our stir fry is done, it's ready to plate up, and we'll try just a little bit before he gets home. For our Pad Gra Prao, we're going to be using some ground pork. You want to do your best to find some ground pork that isn't lean ground pork. We're actually looking for ground pork that's about 80% pork to 20% fat. We want that extra fat just to help make sure everything has a nice consistent texture. We also are going to use that extra fat to render down and help sort of cook up the rest of the ingredients. We're using a few bunches of Thai basil, some garlic, 1 shallot, a few Thai chilies. Now the recipe that I'm using, I will link down below. That recipe says about 4 to 6 Thai chilies. Just depends on your heat tolerance. We really like spice, so we're gonna stick with 6, but if you like less spice, you can cut down to 4, even 3 if you don't want it too spicy. Once the stir fry is done, we'll serve it alongside just a small bowl of white rice and then have a fried egg on top. That fried egg adds that nice crispy texture, and then the runny yolk creates a delicious sauce that mixes with the rice. It's amazing. I'm drooling just thinking about it. The last thing we'll have is just some lime to garnish. When we're cooking up the pork, we are gonna add in a few sauces as well. Just 3 simple sauces, ones that you can find in any grocery store. A little bit of soy sauce. Today we're going to be using oyster sauce. If you haven't had this before, I recommend trying it out before you put it in your dish. Oyster sauce is a little bit salty, but also a little bit sweet. Not as sweet as something like a hoisin sauce, but it is just a touch sweet. We're also using fish sauce, which we've used before when we made our papaya salad. And the fish sauce we talked about in that video is really salty, and it adds a nice amount of sodium to the dish and gives a really great balance. Okay, first things first, we're going to make sure we have our mise en place, so all of our veggies chopped up the way they need to be, making sure we have enough of each sauce. That way when we get to stir frying the pork, it's nice and quick and easy, and everything is already laid out for us. So let's get started with our garlic and our chilies. The first one we're going to do is just give those 2 ingredients a very light chop. That way we can use our mortar and pestle and grind them up to create a chili garlic paste. Now you can buy chili garlic paste at different Asian supermarkets, but I don't want to use the ones that we already have in the fridge because I really want the freshness of the fresh garlic and fresh chilies. Okay? Everything in this dish is super fragrant, but we want to make sure that we're using the freshest ingredients possible to keep that authenticity. Now that our chili and garlic paste is done, it's time to prep the shallot. So we just need 1 small shallot, and we're going to dice this up nice and fine. However you like to dice a shallot is up to you. I like to cut off the two ends, and then I cut my shallot just down the middle. I just find it's easier for me to actually peel off the skin this way. I'm dicing my shallot and I want to have really small pieces. What I like to do is just do a quick horizontal slice, just like that, all the way through. And then I'll do some slices across the length of the shallot. So now I have really thin strips, and then I'm just going to go ahead and dice those. And I've just found for me, that's the easiest way for me to get a really fine dice on my shallot. Perfect, so shallot is diced, and we're just gonna put that over to the side. And there's our shallot. Like I said, we're going to be garnishing our dish with a slice of lime. So I'm just gonna slice up this lime lengthwise to make sure we've got some nice lime wedges. Perfect, nice, fragrant, super juicy. This acidity and the freshness from the lime is gonna balance out some of the heat within the dish. So now that all the veggies are prepped, we've got our diced up shallot, our chili and garlic paste, and we've got our lime wedges to garnish. It's just time to tackle the basil. So all we want to do is take off the leaves from the stems, and we're going to leave the leaves whole. So when we stir fry it, we'll add in the whole basil leaves. Don't worry if it looks like there's a ton of basil here. It shrinks down a lot. It's sort of like those memes when you see when you cook spinach and you put in the whole pack and then one piece comes out. It's the same thing with basil. You put in a lot and it's going to have a lot of fragrance, but it is going to shrink down quite a bit once we cook it. So all we're going to do is take off our leaves from our stems, and that's it with the basil. I love the smell of fresh basil. It really just fills up the whole kitchen. Actually, all of these ingredients do. One of my favorite things about Thai food is just how fresh and how fragrant it is. The use of garlic, chili, sometimes ginger depending on the recipe, the Thai basil, lime, shallot, it's just incredible. As I get older, that's one of the things I appreciate the most about different cultures, is understanding the different herbs and flavors that they use to really make their dishes signature and unique to them. Plus, you can get a lot of inspiration of what herbs go together. Maybe things you wouldn't think about using before. If you're making this dish today, one thing you can consider is making something to go along the side. It's a great dish because it's got lots of protein, and we've got our rice on the side as well, but it's not too veggie heavy. So if you want to have a nice balance, I'd recommend trying out papaya salad. We actually made it in the kitchen a few weeks ago. I'll link it up above. We tried out Chrissy Teigen and her mom's papaya salad recipe. It's an awesome, authentic Thai dish as well. And again, it's got a nice balance of all these different fragrant herbs and spices. Plus the papaya's got a really nice crunch. Okay, basil is set. Last thing I'm going to do is prep our different sauces. You could just put them in as you go, but I'm obsessed with these tiny little dishes, so I want to take advantage. Plus, I like having everything at the side of my cooking station, so it's really ready to go with the exact measurement that I need. So we're going to use equal parts of each. So we need a tablespoon of fish sauce, a tablespoon of the oyster sauce, and then a tablespoon of soy sauce. Uh-oh, this might be like a Heinz ketchup type of thing. There we go. Perfect. Excellent. Now we've got our mise en place, and it's just about to get started in the wok. All right, so now it's time to start frying up our ingredients to create our Pad Gra Prao. The first thing we're gonna do is start to heat up our wok. So I've got my wok back here. I'm gonna put it at about a medium-high heat. And then just using your oil of choice, put a bit of oil in there to heat up. The first thing we're going to do is start to fry up the chili and garlic and the shallots. These only need to be fried for about a minute or until they start to get fragrant. Then we'll add in our ground pork. Once the ground pork is cooked a little bit, then we'll add in our 3 different sauces and mix everything together to make sure we've got an even texture and flavor throughout. The last thing that goes in with our fried pork is the basil. So we put that in towards the end and we just toss it until it's cooked through. Once it's cooked through, that lets us know that everything is ready to come out of the wok and to be served. When we're almost at the part where we're putting our basil in, I'm also gonna start frying up our egg. So we want a beautiful sunny side up egg. That way we can cut the yolk and have it sort of drip down into the rice to build up some more flavor and create some more sauce. So as we start going, it's a pretty quick process when everything's cooking together. And we're gonna start our Pad Gra Prao. I'm excited. All right, it's here, we're done. We've got our Pad Gra Prao right here. We've got a little bit of rice on the side to go with it. We have our Pad Gra Prao, just like I said, with all of our basil, our fried pork, our aromatics, our beautiful fried egg on top. Honestly, before we dig in, I'm gonna have to show you a close-up of the fried egg so you can see all of that yolk pouring down and mixing with everything in there. And then we've got our lime wedge to garnish. So let's give this a little spritz to start. Then we'll zoom in, we'll take a look at that yolk, and finally we'll dig in. I'm very excited. Get that yolk running. Oh yeah, that's what we want. Break up that egg so we get a little bit in every bite. All right, let's try this out. So I like to get a little bit of everything. We're gonna grab some of the egg, some of the pork, and a bit of rice as well. That's the best way to get a balanced bite. It's a balanced diet, really. Let's see. Oh my goodness. Wow. Oh, so good. I'm like, Pad Gra Prao, more like Pad Gra Wow. Sent out. Honestly, I was just gonna have a salad for lunch, but how can I after making this? Just incredible. This dish is so unbelievably balanced. Even though I put 6 chili peppers in here, and to be honest, when I was cooking them, I was coughing and sneezing. The heat isn't overpowering at all. Not by any means, because we've got the freshness of the basil, we've got the shallots as well, we've got some citrus to balance it out. Plus we have our carbs and our eggs on the side. When you get a bite with everything included, it's super balanced, it goes down really smooth. Having that crispy texture of the egg just adds one more element to the dish. I really highly recommend making sure that you do cook your egg perfectly. Making sure that bottom is super crispy and brown. Making sure the yolk is super runny. That way you can get it mixed in with the pork and with the rice. This dish is perfect. I can't wait to make this one again. It was really super simple. If you haven't had this before, or if you have and you just want to recreate it at home, please tag me using any of my social media so I can see your recreations. I'd love to see what you do and how you take inspiration and make it your own. Let me know what you want to see me make next. I'm very excited to continue this journey, learning a little bit more about different foods inside my kitchen. And I'm happy that you're here to join me along the way. I want to wish a big happy birthday to our cameraman. Thank you very much, cameraman, for all the help, and I hope you enjoy your birthday dinner. Other than that, let me know what you want to see me make next week, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye, guys.